The White House and the Kremlin have announced that a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and his U.S. counterpart Donald Trump will be held in the Finnish capital Helsinki on the 16th of July. The two leaders are due to discuss bilateral relations and a range of national security issues. The announcement comes a day after Putin met with U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton to lay the groundwork for the much-anticipated meeting. Putin has hailed Wednesday's meeting with Bolton, expressing hope that the relationship between Russia and the United States can be improved. Well, let's get you more now on that story. I'm joined live from Washington by our Washington White House correspondent, Nathan King. Nathan, do you have more details on that upcoming meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, it'll be a one-on-one meeting, July 16th, as you said, in Helsinki. And what's interesting is the timing, because it follows on from the NATO summit on June 12th in Europe, and also after the visit to the United Kingdom on July 12th as 13th. So it's going to be after all difficult conversations with allies, which is interesting because a lot of people had hoped it happened before, so he could perhaps brief allies on the situation with Russia. Of course, NATO very much going through a new Cold War, if you like, with Russia, and especially the UK as well, after the suspected poisoning case of the Skripal family.
So, Nathan, why is this face-to-face meeting between President Trump and Putin so significant?
Well, first of all, there are two things going on here. Relations between the US and Russia are probably at their worst that they have been, despite Donald Trump's personal regard for Vladimir Putin, which is well documented in tweets and also during the campaign. While they've had one-on-ones on the sidelines of various international meetings, they haven't had essentially what is a mini summit. This is despite the fact that Donald Trump has said he wants better relations with Russia. He keeps on saying it, but his administration, of course, have almost done the opposite. They've stepped up sanctions against Russian oligarchs. They have still said that they will not recognize the reabsorption of Crimea into Russia. They are supplying small arms and other weapons to Ukraine, where Russia is in the east, or at least backs the forces in the east of the country. They've actually clashed in Syria over the Euphrates River. There are more and more differences than there are things that unite them. But there is this one thing, of course, that's been hanging over this administration, and that is allegations that Russia colluded with the Trump campaign to somehow sway the 2016 election. Of course, US President Donald Trump has denied all this, despite the fact the intelligence community said they did. And, you know, even today he was tweeting that he believes Russia when they say no. They didn't, above and beyond his own intelligence agencies. And this is what's really worrying. A lot of diplomats I've been speaking to off the record at the State Department, they're very worried about what happens when Donald Trump gets in a room with Vladimir Putin. Could he offer something that perhaps is not in the US interest, like perhaps the lifting of sanctions? All this, of course, is conjecture at this point, but we have seen Donald Trump offer things before, like in Singapore, for example, to Kim Jong-un, that weren't in the script.
Right, Nathan King joining us there from Washington. Thank you.